The Utah Jazz are amazing, and there's simply no other way to put it. Right now, they have a 23-5 record. They have the best record in the entire NBA, and they're on an 8-game win streak. In the past 5 games, they have beaten some notable teams in the Pacers, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Heat, and the 76ers, and I think it's safe to say the Utah Jazz are for real. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why they have been so successful. But before we start, I checked my watch time for the past month, and 92.7% of you guys are not subscribed. So please subscribe to this channel. You can find all sorts of content ranging from basketball to football on this channel. So I'd greatly appreciate if you were to subscribe. Now let's get into the video. So first off, I think Quinn Snyder deserves a lot of credit for the Jazz success. Mike Conley said it on the JJ Redick podcast. Quinn Snyder has been waiting for a team that can truly fulfill this system he had in mind, and I think this team has been the team to do it. They shoot so much threes. I think they have 40% of their shots are three-point shots, and they're one of the best teams in the NBA at shooting the three-point ball, which is always a recipe for success. If you can shoot the three at that high of a percentage, you always have a chance to beat any team. And you add on their three-point shooting along with their great defense, they can beat anybody on any given night. And now let's talk about the players that have been contributing to this Jazz win streak and their success overall. Donovan Mitchell for the year is averaging 24, 4, and 5. Clarkson's averaging 18. Conley's averaging 16.5 and 6 assists. Bojan Bogdanovic is averaging 16, about there. He started out the season slow, but he's finally starting to pick it up. Rudy Gobert is averaging 14 and 13 with 3 blocks, almost 3 blocks per game. Joe Ingles, 12 points and 5 assists off the bench. Now that Conley has been out, Ingles has been starting, but off the bench, he's been averaging 12 and 5. Royce O'Neal, a lockdown defender, averaging 8 points per game and shooting the 3-ball very well and guarding the opposing team's best player. And Favors and Niang are great off the bench. Favors provides defense and Niang provides spacing. And right now, like the Jazz to me, the Utah Jazz to me, have 2 starting lineups damn near. When everybody's healthy, you got Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovic, Gobert, and Royce O'Neal. And then off the bench, you have Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, Derek Favors, Georges Niang. Like, that bench is extremely good. And it's not just one guy that has been the reason why the Jazz have been so successful. It's been a collection of everybody, and I want to categorize everybody into subset groups. So first, when you talk about scoring, the guys that stand out are Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson. Donovan Mitchell has been shooting the best percentage of his career, not from the field, but from 3 he has. And if you look at his shooting percentage and his effective field goal percentage, these are the highest of his career. And it's because the floor is so spaced out that he's able to drive to the basket. And also, he's just been working on his three-point shot and hitting it at an insanely high clip. Then you look at Jordan Clarkson, one of the most exciting and hottest offensive players in the league right now. It feels like once this guy catches fire, there is no stopping him. He just keeps scoring and scoring and scoring. And between Mitchell and Clarkson, I know that a lot of people like to say that Mitchell is by far the best scorer on the team. But when you look at Utah Jazz games, if Clarkson were to get the same amount of minutes as Donovan Mitchell, can we actually say that he wouldn't be averaging the same amount of points or more? I think right now the scores on the Jazz are Donovan is 1A, but Clarkson is 1B, because there are nights where Clarkson's scoring and his punch off the bench is the reason why the Jazz are able to accumulate big leads. Then you look at playmakers on the floor. Mike Conley stands out. Donovan Mitchell has been a better playmaker this season. He always has been a good playmaker. But you look at Mike Conley, his the pick and roll duo that he creates with Rudy Gobert. And you look at Joe Ingles as well. Joe Ingles is a very underrated playmaker. He is averaging about 5 assists per game this season, and he can shoot very well. He can handle the ball. And the reason why they have started him in place of Conley is because Joe Ingles can run those point guard duties. And then you look at defense. Royce O'Neal, a lockdown defender, their perimeter stopper. Rudy Gobert. probably the best defensive presence in the NBA. I mean, the way that he alters everybody's shots and makes them think twice about coming to the paint is something that speaks for itself. But something I want to talk about when in regards to Rudy Gobert. A lot of people think that Rudy Gobert's impact is just on defense, but it's not. The reason the Jazz have been so successful offensively is because of Rudy Gobert. When they run a pick and roll, whether it's with Conley and Gobert, Ingles or Gobert, Clarkson or Gobert, or Donovan Mitchell and Gobert, those rim runs to the basket, when he rolls to the baskets, teams have to help on that or else they're going to give up a dunk or an easy layup. And because teams have to collapse the defense, when Rudy Gobert is rim running to the rim, it creates open shots for shooters around the perimeter. And that's why Rudy Gobert has been so impactful on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of people look at how much he's averaging and say, oh, it's not much, that therefore he's not that great of an offensive player. But maybe he's not that great of a scorer, and I wouldn't classify him as a great scorer. But in terms of impact on offense, he has a great impact and one of the biggest impacts offensively of any big man in the entire NBA. Then you look at Bogdanovic, who he provides playmaking and scoring. He's a sharpshooter from three, and he started the season out slow, but now he's finally finding his groove. And Bogdanovic is a really, really good player. Then you look at guys like Derek Favors when he comes off the bench. Of course, if Rudy Gobert is out the game, you're going to lose some defensive impact and offensive impact. But Derek Favors is a great defender in his own right. Then you got a guy like Georges Niang who can space the floor and at times drive to the basket and get his own bucket. This team as a whole has just been a cohesive and collective unit. And in the past years, I can't really figure out a team that has played this well together. The continuity of this team is off the charts. It really doesn't even matter who's in or who's out. We saw Donovan Mitchell miss a game, the Jazz won. We've seen Conley miss the past couple of games, the Jazz keep winning. It seems like no matter who's out or who's in, the Jazz continue to win. And the reason for that is because this system works with anybody, because Quinn Snyder has made it so this system can work with anybody. But overall, I've been extremely impressed with the Jazz. And if you can shoot the three ball at a high percentage and you can play elite defense and you have guys like Donovan Mitchell who are closers, I think you can beat any team in the NBA. To begin the season, I wasn't very high on the Jazz because I didn't expect them to be doing this. I mean, right now they're scorching. They're not hot. They are scorching. They are like lava right now. They are next level right now, and they have been obliterating really good teams as well. It's not like they have been beating teams by a couple of points. They've been beating teams by a sizable amount, and because of that, I don't know how you can watch this Jazz team and not think that they are for real, because they have shown time and time again that they are. I mean, right now they're on an 8-game win streak, and I just want to give credit to everybody who's contributed. Mitchell and Clarkson as primary scorers, Derek Favors, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert as lockdown defenders, Joe Ingles as a playmaker and a shooter, Bogdanovic as a shooter and playmaker as well, Georges Niang coming off the bench providing spacing, and Mike Conley being that ultimate floor general. Last season did not really click with this roster, but this year finally found his footing and they've hit the ground running. Overall, this team just feels different, and I cannot wait to see what happens. I mean, I think Donovan Mitchell should start in the All-Star game. I mean, I think we can all agree Rudy Gobert deserves to be in the All-Star game. Jordan Clarkson is probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. So this is going to be a really fun year for the Utah Jazz, and enjoy the ride, because this is going to be a hell of a season, and it's going to be a really fun season. And a lot of people want to get caught up in the playoffs and whether they're going to go far or whether they're going to win or whatever. But I just say, just enjoy the year, because everybody's going to talk. Everybody's going to find a way to diminish what this team is doing right now. All that matters is that this team is playing great, and that's about it. But thank you guys for watching this video. As I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe, because this watch time disparity is pretty crazy. 92.7% of you guys are not subscribed. You can expect videos like this all the time. I may not be talking about the Jazz. If they continue to play well and I want to, I will, but I make videos about football and basketball. I talk about every single team. I'm not just fixated on one. So if you're into that type of content, then don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be posting a lot of it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.